Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So this is my first time ever posting a miniature painting video, and it's also my first time ever painting a miniature. So today I'm going to be using the official Dungeons & Dragons painting kit that I got for Christmas, and everything that comes with that to paint this, which is going to be a giant constrictor snake. This guy was one of my first miniatures I ever purchased, and I got it because one of my players has an item called the Staff of Pythons, which allows him to transform the staff into a 30-foot constrictor snake. Now, since that's his favorite item to use, I thought it'd be really cool if he had a mini to represent it on the battle map. And I gotta say, I'm really impressed by the details on this mini. I got it from a Etsy shop called The Nerd and the Hooker. If you want to check out their shop, there's a link in the description below. For starters, I had to prime the miniature, and I'm using Citadel Colors Xandri Dust Spray Primer, which I got from my local tabletop gaming store. I let the first layer dry for about 15 to 20 minutes, then I rotated it and sprayed it again. But by the time it was done drying, the sun was already starting to set, so I decided to call it a night. So here we are again. It's 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and I've had breakfast, I've had coffee, and now it's time to keep going. While it was drying, it was time to get the desk set up. First, we've got our hobby mat that my girlfriend and I use for our various hobbies. Some paper towels and a washcloth for drying. Here we've got all the paintbrushes I'll be using that my girlfriend was so generous enough to let me borrow for this painting adventure. So this thing is a handle, and it's got two opposable arms for when you're assembling some of your minis, which come in various parts. You gotta glue them all together. This just helps hold it all in one place, and I found it at my local tabletop gaming store. I thought it was so cool, and I wish I had had one earlier when I was putting some miniatures together, and I just had to get it. At that same tabletop gaming store, a wonderful representative there helped me pick out the paints that I was going to be using specifically for this snake. So I've got my base layer, my shade, and my detail. Now this little miniature came with the D&D painting kit, according to whom his name is Minx and Boo. I think Boo is the name of his sword. Either way, I'm looking forward to painting him in one day. Now this is a magnifying glass that's got a light on it that I recently got off of Amazon specifically for painting. Unfortunately, it was too bright in the day that I didn't really use it that much this time, but I definitely know that I'll be using it in the future. Next, I've got a small collection of books to provide a vantage point for my webcam that I'll be recording from. These books were in no way, shape, or form personally selected based off any kind of, inherent biasness or anything like that. And finally, we've got the fully dried and primed miniature I'm going to be painting today. And I promised I'll get better about putting the item in my hand in front of the camera for future videos. I've also procured a delicious cup of coffee that has equal parts coffee, sugar, and cream, exactly how it should be. Next, you can see me strategically positioning my laptop for optimal tunage and any YouTube videos I'll be listening to while I'm painting. And then we've got a glass mason jar and a black mug for dirty and clean water. Lastly, I've got my palette. Now I'm using a trick I saw online since I didn't have any wax paper to use. So instead I'm using some old beeswax paper that my girlfriend was going to throw out anyways. Apparently the trick here is to use a wet paper towel underneath the wax paper, and it's supposed to keep your paint wet for a much longer period of time. I start off with the base purple color, moving all around the miniature and getting the colors to fill in all the hard to reach places and gaps. After giving it a few moments to dry, I began adding a nearly white purple color in a diamond pattern with a red dot in the middle. I painted this pattern all the way down the snake from the head to the tail, gradually getting smaller as the pattern went on. Next was probably the longest and most tedious part, which was painting the overlapping scales on the snake's underbelly. I made a light purple color and filled in every single scale along the snake's belly, and I think it was most time consuming, but I also think it was most satisfying and rewarding to do once I was done. And finally, I finished by painting its facial features, such as its eyes, forked tongue, teeth, and mouth. Now once all the base colors are filled in, I brush it with this thing called Noon Oil. Noon Oil is supposed to get into all the cracks and crevices and give the miniatures more depth and shadow. I let the mini dry overnight, and this is how it looks. Now I'm really pleased with how this turned out. Painting this took most of the afternoon, but I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Once I see my friend in person again, I'm sure he's really going to enjoy his brand new painted mini that I got for him. And that just about wraps it up. Thank you so much for joining me on this painting adventure. And as I've stated before, I plan on posting more painting videos soon. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.